Minnie, a reminder that the exceptions in some of these states are not exceptions at all.
No, exceptions. These exceptions, as we know, were designed to not work. You know, Attorney General Ken Paxton is really, frankly, just a terrible human being. He is extremist. He's anti-abortion. He's questionable in his ethics. The fact that the state is pursuing these lengths to deny Kate Cox her fundamental right to reproductive freedom and care, it's just devastating.
Well, and Minnie, to layer onto that, the fact that you have Ken Paxton threatening doctors who would otherwise provide care, we have understood that there was always supposed to be a chilling effect. We are seeing that articulated so clearly.
Incredibly clearly, right? They named the doctor. That was by design. That was not by accident. They're trying to intimidate medical professionals. This is the same state that crafted SB 8, the vigilante abortion ban. So they're particularly used to and expert at the tortuous nature of these bans. But look, the fundamental thing that we have to understand here is this is a state that has gone to incredible extremes to block folks from care. They are going to extremes now. And this is the kind of country, to your earlier point, that Donald Trump has allowed through this Supreme Court. This is on Donald Trump.
This is on Donald Trump, Molly. When it happened, people were like, don't worry. If you're in a blue state, this isn't going to impact you. We are seeing with the mifepristone ruling that could absolutely not be true, to say nothing of longer wait times for women in blue states, to say nothing of the fact that the demand has spread. It has not decreased. So let's talk within this frame about if Trump should win another term. Anti-abortion activists, they are counting on him to revive a centuries-old law that prohibits the mailing of anything intended for producing an abortion. The Atlantic points out that in addition, preventing the shipment of abortion pills, the Comstock Act would, quote, be applied to prevent the transport of all supplies related to medical and surgical abortions, making it illegal to ship necessary tools and medications to hospitals and clinics, with no exceptions for other medical uses such as miscarriage care. Conditions that are easily treatable with modern medicine could, without access to these supplies, become life-threatening. I understand that there are threats Trump makes that we here take very seriously, and there are folks who say, no, he's just joking. No. I mean, we have proof positive that he is very serious about limiting reproductive care in this country, if not doing away with it entirely.
Yeah. I mean, what we see in this Cox case is that abortion is health care. This is a woman. She needs health care. She cannot have it because of Republican politicians. Period, paragraph. Now, we have seen since the overturning of Dobbs, since the end of Roe, that voters do not want Republican politicians in the gynecologist chair with their doctors. They do not want that. They want doctors treating them. They do not want to feel their doctor is being bossed around by a Republican politician. So I do think that this happens to be a really terrible experience for her. I mean, I feel for her so much as a mother. I just can't even imagine how horrible this is. And remember, this is a woman who wants to have more children, who has little children of her own. And many of the women who need abortions are people who have little children, right, who have big responsibilities and can't take days off work. And I think also bringing back the Comstock Act, which is this law that's like, 100+ years old and is really Victorian, is really a sign of what they're going to do, right? They're going to go for a federal ban. We know this. The anti-choice world desperately wants a federal ban. They're going to go after mifepristone. And you've seen already that the legal argument for removing mifepristone from the market is so thin, but it doesn't matter because these Republicans are such zealots that they're going to go for it. And it's going to be a dystopian healthcare nightmare for pregnant women and even for women who want to get pregnant.